going on, everybody? So if you know me, then you know that I am a huge Qi2 MagSafe battery pack fanatic, and with the launch of the S25 series, the first mainstream Android phone with Qi2 charging, of course I had to spend my savings and get it. As you may know, the Qi2 functionality on the S25 series is quite awkward, so it's not actually Qi2, but it's Qi2 ready, meaning that you have to have a magnetic case paired with the phone. So there's a lot of magnetic cases out there for the S25 and a lot of other Android phones, but I only came across speaking cases that have the Qi2 certification in the description for the case. So it was a must that I go ahead and get one of these and compare it to other cases. I also have a Banks case that doesn't flaunt the Qi2 certification in the case description, so I went ahead and ran some tests to see if that Qi2 certification actually matters. And I'm also going to test out the pass-through charging on some of my favorite Qi2 MagSafe battery packs to see how that performs on the S25, and I'm going to test out my favorite 3-in-1 Qi2 stand. Alright, let's get into it. So first, let's go over this stand. This is the ESR 3-in-1 Qi2 stand with Cryo Boost active cooling. And we all know the main issue with wireless charging is the heat. The heat and the power transfer causes power to be lost and causes the charging to slow down. So more heat equals slower charging. So I only use this stand from ESR, and I will only recommend a stand like this to anybody that asks me, because you will definitely need the active cooling. So with this ESR charger, you can charge your Qi2 phone magnetically, and you can also charge your earbuds at 5 watts through the base of the stand. So I didn't get the Galaxy Buds when I got the phone, and I used all my credits to get some official Samsung cases, and maybe that was a bad decision. So I'm using my Buds from OnePlus, as you see here, and using this stand, it charges wirelessly as expected. Understand that the slot for the smartwatch is only for the Apple Watch, so you won't be able to charge your Galaxy watches or any other smartwatches with this charger. But the functionality of this part is very versatile, so you can actually disconnect it and put it on your phone or put it on your laptop so that you can charge your Apple Watch in various different ways. But how fast does this actually charge the Galaxy S25? Because we all know that these stands are engineered for iPhones, but it does offer Qi2 charging, so I'm curious to see how well does this work on the Qi2 S25 series. So I ran some tests comparing this charger with an older Qi1 2-in-1 MagSafe charger, just to see if there is a difference in the charging speeds and how big is that difference. And I've also tested out the wattage on the iPhone 15 Pro Max just to see how well that performs too. The charging brick that I'm connecting this stand to is a 100-watt brick from Multixel. And this brick is pretty crazy because it has 8 different charging ports and 7 different USB Type-C ports. 4 of the ports are 45 watts, so that's perfect for the Galaxy S25 series because these phones charge at 45 watts. And there's one 100-watt port that can be used for charging bigger devices like your laptops. It also comes with 2 100-watt USB Type-C cords, and it even comes with a lightning cord for the Apple users out there. So I'm going to run all of the tests on the 100-watt port and the 100-watt cord just to get the best results possible. I also got this cool USB Type-C wattage tester, and that's to test the wattage flowing from the brick to the charging stand. So connecting the S25 to the ESR Qi2 stand, we can see that there is 20 watts being pulled from the brick to the stand. And similarly on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, we also get 20 watts being pulled from the brick to the stand. And now on the older Qi1 stand, the S25 only got around 6 or 7 watts being pulled from the brick, and the iPhone got around 10 watts being pulled from the brick to the stand. So that goes to show that these older MagSafe accessories do perform better on the iPhone. But as far as the Qi2 charging, I'm very happy to see that the same amount of wattage is being pulled for the S25 and the iPhone, and that's 20 watts. So I usually do a full charging test, testing up the charge from 0 to 100, but man, those take way too long, so I just went ahead and skipped that one. And I also get the temperature down, but this is active cooling, so the temperature should be good on the ESR charger. By the way guys, like the video if you want to help me out, but if not, that's cool. And I don't see other YouTubers running these Qi2 tests on the Galaxy S25, and if you have some charging nerd friends just like us, then go ahead and share this video. Okay, so now let's run some tests on the different magnetic cases that you can get for the S25. So as I already stated, you need to pair your S25 with a magnetic Qi2 case to get the speeds of Qi2. But when looking online, as of February 2025, I only see Spigen that is flaunting the certified Qi2 quote on their product description. So I got this very sleek Spigen silicone MagFit case for the S25 Ultra, and of course it has the Qi2 certification. I got this case on sale at Amazon for about $20. The links to every product in this video will be down below. And looking on the Spigen website, it looks like they're selling this case for $40. So if you're interested, make sure you get this case soon and get it on Amazon because the price is most likely going to go up. It's a soft touch silicone case, which is exactly my style of cases. It offers a ton of grip, but it's actually not too grippy so that it gets stuck in your pocket. So that is great. There's a lip that covers up the screen so that you can slam the case on the phone. The buttons are covered up and they're very clicky, and the case goes all around the phone 360 and there's no gaps on the sides. But this is still a slimmer case, so it won't offer the best protection, but this is exactly the size that I prefer. The camera bump is going to be a huge deciding factor of which case you're going to get if you have an S25 and you want to use magnetic charging banks, because most power banks overlap on the camera on the S25 series and it doesn't fit flush on the phone. I'm pretty sure that can hinder the charging speeds and it can just be incredibly annoying. But that's not the case for other MagSafe accessories like charging pucks or stands, because the surface area of those accessories don't overlap with the camera. So with the Spigen case, there is a very tiny camera bump. It's so small that it actually doesn't really impact the charging brick and it sits flush on the phone. The other case that I'm going to test this out with is the Banks Armor Pro series of cases. It's magnetic, but it doesn't have the Qi2 certification. So I really want to see if there's a difference or not between these two cases in terms of charging speed. This is a very stylish Kevlar case with the Kevlar material. There's a lip to protect the screen and the case goes all the way around the phone as well. But with this case, there's a pretty big camera bump and that's to protect the cameras. So if you're using a MagSafe battery pack, then it will overlap on the camera bump. So keep that in mind. But if you're one that really wants that camera protection, then this will be the case for you. So I tested both of these cases on the S25 with the ESR 3-in-1 Qi2 stand with the Cryo Boost active cooling to get the best results. And those wattage results are pretty interesting. So with the Spigen case, we are pulling about 20 watts outside the charging brick into the stand. The Qi2 standard is 15 watts, so that leads me to believe that there is 15 watts going from the stand into the S25 wirelessly. It's pretty hard to see the live charging speeds of a wireless charge. I know that there are some apps that show the live charging speeds on your Android phone, but when you're charging your device and the screen is on, the charging is slowed down and not all the way accurate. Also, if you're charging the phone and there's a lot of background activities, then the charging will most likely slow down too. So I chose not to use that form of testing, because to get the best charging speeds, you will need to turn the phone off and leave it idle. With the Banks case, we got around 11 watts coming out of the brick, and that's a pretty significant gap in my opinion. So the standard of Qi2 charging is 15 watts. So if you're not getting 15 watts coming out the brick, then there's no way that you're getting 15 watts going from the stand to the phone wirelessly. So after running some tests of the wattage speeds on the Qi2 stand, I was curious to see how much wattage is getting pulled from some of my favorite Qi2 MagSafe battery packs. So I have the ESR 10K Qi2 battery pack, and if you want to see a complete breakdown of this charger versus the goated Anker 10K Qi2 pack, then that link will be down below. But long story short, the ESR pack performed just as good and ran just as cool, and it was a lot cheaper, so I went ahead and kept this charger. I'm also going to test the pass-through charging with this battery pack from Cool. This is a 10K Qi2 battery pack. So with the ESR pack, it looks like we're pulling 20 watts from the wall. Even though this is not a stand, this is just a battery pack, so that's pretty great. And with the Cool charger, we're pulling 14 watts from the wall. The Cool charger is Qi2, but it still is MagSafe compatible, and MagSafe is 15 watts. So that might explain why we're getting more than 7.5 watts with this Qi2 charger. Both of these MagSafe battery packs perform pass-through charging, so you'll be able to leave the phone on the charger and plugged in overnight, and when you wake up in the morning, both the charging pack and your phone will be topped off. I even went ahead and tested the pass-through charging on the ESR Qi2 5K pack, and that got up to 8 watts coming out of the wall, which is as expected because these 5K packs are a lot smaller and they don't perform as good as the bigger packs. So yeah, these results were extremely interesting. As for the cases, I'm not sure if it's the placement of the magnets that are a little bit off from the Banks versus the Spigen, but the Spigen case clearly draws more power, thus charging faster wirelessly. A fellow commenter of mine did point out to me that there may be NFC communications in the Qi2 certified case, signaling the top Qi2 speeds from the case to the phone to the Qi2 certified charger. So there you have it, guys. So if you're a charging nerd like me, which you most likely are because you watched this video all the way through the end, then now you know that the Qi2 certifications on the Spigen cases do matter, and they do charge faster than other cases that don't have the Qi2 certification listed. Now, if you want to see my personal favorite ultra slim 10K Qi2 MagSafe battery pack for the S25 Ultra, then watch this video right here, and I'll talk to y'all next time.